There is an unseen power many people cannot see, but when it finally moves, nothing can disagree. Some people see the moment and think the story is done, but there's a greater force that hasn't even begun. Because when heaven decides to move, everything starts to change. What once seemed impossible no longer feels strange. And when the presence rises, everything shifts around. What once looked completely lost will suddenly be found. Maybe you arrive today carrying something deep, a situation heavy that makes your spirit weak. Maybe you tried everything looking for a way through, but every door you knocked on closed right in front of you. The world says it's over, that there's no way ahead, but there's a power stronger than every word they said. Because what seems impossible to those who only see is just the beginning of what is meant to be. There are no limits for power, no barrier strong enough. When that force awakens, everything becomes tough. And what once seemed impossible will slowly disappear. Because when power rises, victory is near. If there is faith inside you, then choose to believe. Because what once felt distant is closer than you perceive. When heaven decides to act, nothing can interfere. What once stood completely still will suddenly appear. When he decides to act, nothing can resist. There is no limit to the power that exists. When he decides to move, everything can change. What once seemed broken can rearrange. When he decides to act, nothing can delay. Because when heaven rises, it clears the way. When he decides to move, your story will renew. What seemed impossible will appear before you. There's storms in light that feel like endless nights. Moments when the silence hides the brightest lights. But there is a stronger voice guiding every step. And when that voice awakens, the path becomes direct. What was looked powerful will suddenly fall apart. Because no force in existence can overpower that God. When that power appears, every barrier breaks. And what once looked impossible finally reshapes. Doors begin opening, new paths appear ahead. What once seemed unreachable is closer than you said. Because when heaven moves, nothing stays the same. What once looked like defeat turns into a flame. If there is faith inside you, then choose to believe. Because what once felt distant is closer than you perceive. When heaven decides to act, nothing can interfere. What once stood completely still will suddenly appear. When he decides to act, nothing can resist. There is no limit to the power that exists. When he decides to move, everything can change. What once seemed broken can rearrange. When he decides to act, nothing can delay. Because when heaven rises, it clears the way. When he decides to move, your story will renew. What seemed impossible will appear before you. Nobody imagined it, nobody could see. While the world watched the giants, heaven was watching you quietly. In the silence of the valley, far away from the lights, a story was being written through tears and sleepless nights. Because sometimes the world ignores what heaven already chose. While many are visible, the real one quietly grows. But there is a moment written, no force can delay, when the one who looks so small will finally find their way. How many times did you wonder if anyone noticed you there? Among all the loud voices, it felt impossible to appear. While others climbed quickly, you moved step by step. It felt like every moment was harder than you expected. The world measures greatness by applause and fame, but heaven measures stories through unseen pain. While many laughed at your struggle, ignoring what you endured, something powerful inside you was quietly being secured. Because those who learn in silence to keep moving through the night carry deep inside the spirit an unstoppable light. And what once looked like weakness was preparation in disguise, cause a brand new chapter is about to rise. Maybe nobody sees it today, maybe nobody knows, but what is growing inside you is stronger than it shows. Because when the moment arrives, nothing can hold it still. What was born inside the valley will climb every hill. A new champion will rise. The world will finally see the one they never noticed held hidden victory. A new champion will rise. Nothing will stand in the way, because what started small was meant to lead one day. A new champion will rise, and everyone would understand that the greatest stories begin when someone chooses to stand. A new champion will rise. Believe what you see, because what heaven chooses will always be. There are valleys so dark, they seem to never end. Moments where the silence feels impossible to defend. You look ahead and everything appears far too tall, and every step forward feels like you might fall. But it is exactly in those places where powerful stories grow, because those who keep walking are the ones who glow. The world calls it weakness when someone refuses to quit, and calls it defeat when someone persists through it. But there is a higher vision, watching every move, and every tear that falls is proof you will improve. Because everything you face is shaping who you'll be. Every challenge conquered builds your destiny. And what once looked like delay was preparation too. Because true champions learn to fight when nobody knew. Maybe nobody sees it today, maybe nobody knows, but what is growing inside you is stronger than the strong. Maybe nobody sees it today, maybe nobody knows, but what is growing inside you is stronger than it shows. Because when the moment arrives, nothing can hold it still. What was born inside the valley will climb every hill. A new champion will rise. The world will finally see the one they never noticed held hidden victory. A new champion will rise and will stand in the way, because what started small was meant to lead one day. A new champion will rise. Everyone will understand that the greatest stories begin when someone chooses to stand. A new champion will rise. Believe what you see, because what heaven chooses will always be. And when that moment arrives, voices will recognize that the one once ignored was born to rise. The story will echo far beyond where you stand, because what grows in valleys will one day command. And the world will discover what once looked small was only the beginning of standing tall. A new champion will rise. The story will unfold. The one who came from the valley will shine like gold. A new champion will rise. Nothing will restrain, because what was born in silence will forever remain. A new champion will rise. Everyone will see the name that once was hidden was destiny. Victory will appear, victory will grow, because the one who kept fighting is the one who will glow. How many nights you whisper softly waiting for an answer to appear. How many times the sky felt distant and nothing seemed clear. You pray when nobody noticed, you cry when no one could see, and still it felt like time itself was standing still for you and me. But something is moving in silence, even when you cannot see. Invisible paths are forming, working quietly for your victory. Because every sincere word spoken does not disappear in the air. Every hope lifted upward is remembered somewhere. I know there are questions inside you, hard days you must face, moments when heaven's silence feels like an endless space. Still you keep believing, even without a sign, holding faith in your heart, waiting for the perfect time. But there is a hidden battle, far beyond what eyes can see. Movements in the unseen world, working constantly. While you are patiently waiting, something has begun to move. Invisible doors are opening, preparing what will prove. Because the timing of promise doesn't follow a clock of pain. But when the moment arrives, nothing can restrain. What once felt like delay turns into direction. What once looked like silence becomes manifestation. It may seem nothing has changed, it may seem it never came, but what is being prepared will soon reveal its name. When the answer finally arrives, nothing will stand in the way. What was already on its path will rise today. Will rise today. Rise today. It will happen. The impossible will appear. Everything you hope for is finally drawing near. It will happen. Nothing can resist. When the promise finds its time, it cannot be dismissed. It will happen. Rise. What was already prepared will soon open your eyes. It will happen. You will finally see when heaven decides to act. It brings victory. Many voices may have told you that your time had already passed, that the dream you were holding would never last. But true promises do not fall to the ground. They remain alive in a deeper realm that found. Even when every path looks closed, there's a road you cannot see. Silent movements happening, preparing destiny. Maybe now you don't understand, maybe faith feels hard to hold, but something greater is approaching, stronger than what you were told. And when the answer finally comes, you will look beyond and see every moment of waiting was shaping who you be. Nothing that you lived was wasted, no tear fell in vain. Every drop became a seed, growing through the pain. It may seem nothing has changed, it may seem it never came, but what is being prepared will soon reveal its name. When the answer finally arrives, nothing will stand in the way. What was already on its path will rise today. Rise today. It will happen. The impossible will appear. Everything you hope for is finally drawing near. It will happen. Nothing can resist. When the promise finds its time, it cannot be dismissed. Arise. What was already prepared will soon open your eyes. It will happen. You will finally see when heaven decides to act. It brings victory. When the moment arrives, silence will break apart. What once felt distant will suddenly start. Cause no sincere prayer is ever lost in the sky. Every hopeful word still lives up high. And in the perfect moment, when everything aligns, what once seemed impossible finally shines. It will happen. The promise will be revealed. Everything you waited for will finally be real. It will happen. Nothing will stop its way. What was written in hope will rise one day. It will happen. Time will clearly show. Every moment of waiting was a miracle growing slow. It will happen. Believe and see when the answer arrives. It sets you free. And what once felt impossible begins today to be.
seen promises shining like gold, only to fade away with time. I've seen crowds turn into silence and applause stop on a dime. The world keeps chasing medals, stages, fame, and attention, but there's a prize far greater hidden beyond comprehension.
It's not about who arrives first or who stands in the brightest view. It's about keeping the fire alive, even when darkness surrounds you. Because there are silent victories that no one can measure or see. Every step taken in faith is another reason to believe. I remember where I started, days when no one believed. Dreams locked deep in my chest when hope was hard to retrieve. They called it a broken project, a plan without direction. But something greater saw value inside that reflection. When every door seemed closed, an unseen hand opened the way. Gathered every broken piece and rebuilt my life that day. Step by step on the road, even when my eyes were blind. Something guided my journey, leaving the fear behind. It wasn't luck or accident, it was purpose in every move. Cause when a soul has direction, it has nothing to prove. Looking back now, I realize every battle had meaning too.
Even if the world can't see the power standing strong, there's a prize waiting somewhere for those who carried on. Cause the greatest reward is not something we can hold, but the promise that one day a greater story unfolds.
See people running fast, trying to prove their name, forgetting that true identity is deeper than the fame. You could win the entire world and still feel empty inside, because the real victory is learning how to rise. Rise with courage and struggle, build hope day after day. Even when the winds of doubt try to blow the fire away, I know there's still a destiny greater than position or throne. Something prepared in silence beyond what we have known. Everything that looks so big today will eventually fade away. What is born from faith will forever stay. When the story is finally written, it won't be about what you gained, but how many times you fell and still stood through the pain. Because those who carry purpose never quit on the climb, then they turn every obstacle into steps through time. Even if the world can't see the power of standing strong, there's a prize waiting some for those who carry on.
Even if the world can't see the power of standing strong, there's a prize waiting somewhere for those who carried on. Cause the greatest reward is not something we can hold, but the promise that one day a greater story unfolds. The real trophy is not what the world can see, not in shining lights or loud applause for me. The real trophy is waiting beyond the sky, knowing at the end of the road a greater moment is nearby. The real trophy is something time can erase, because those who kept the hope will finally see their place. The real trophy is reaching the final line and discovering every step was part of a greater design. And on that day when everything becomes clear, every tear you carried will suddenly appear. Every silent night, every step of belief, every moment you chose to rise beyond grief.
Nothing was wasted, nothing was lost in the fight. Every choice made in faith was shining with light. And when the final door opens, after the long road you knew, you'll realize the victory was always waiting for you. The real trophy is knowing the journey was true. The fire never fading, no matter what you went through. The real trophy is looking back and seeing why the strength guiding your life was always standing nearby. The real trophy, life beyond what eyes can see, discovering eternity was preparing you to be free. The real trophy is when the story is complete and every step of the journey reveals the ultimate victory.
Since the earliest days of time, there's been a sound rising high. Not born from stages of fame, but from hearts that won't deny. It's a voice crossing generations, stronger than sorrow and pain. It doesn't depend on comfort, it rises again and again. Some sing when everything's perfect, when the road is smooth and clear. But there's a deeper kind of power when a song appears through fear. Even when winds are against you, even when night feels long, there's a force in a faithful voice that turns weakness into a song. I've seen stories written in sorrow turn into melodies of light. People losing almost everything, still choosing to stand and fight. Cause singing when life is easy doesn't show what's truly inside. But when pressure weighs on the spirit, that's when real songs rise. Some people sing out of emotion, others sing by decision alone. Even when tears are falling, even when hearts feel stone. And in that moment something happens, something hard to explain. Because when a voice rises from faith, heaven listens again. It's not about perfect rhythm, it's not about the stage. It's about keeping the fire alive even inside the cage. When faith finally finds a voice, something begins to move. Invisible chains start breaking and locked doors start to improve. Even when the road feels heavy, even when hope seems thin, there's a strength inside a song that awakens life within. It doesn't depend on sight or what the world believes. When our heart lifts up its voice, something greater receives. When everything feels heavy, let your heart release a sound. Because the song born in struggle turns the battle around. When darkness surrounds you and fear tries to stay, there's a power in praise that drives the chains away. When everything feels broken, don't let silence remain. Because when faith becomes music, miracles enter the pain. When everything feels hopeless and strength feels far away, a song born in the trial can change the entire day. There were nights inside prisons where voices decided to rise. No stage, no cheering crowd, just faith reaching the skies. They didn't know what would happen, they didn't know how it would end. But when that song lifted upward, the earth began to bend. The ground responded in thunder, the walls began to shake. What once seemed impossible started to break. Because when a sincere song rises, something answers above. What once seemed tightly closed opens through power and love. It doesn't matter the struggle, it doesn't matter the pain. There's a hidden key inside a faithful song in the rain. That's why those who understand never stop raising their voice. Because they know in silent faith, hope still has a choice. Even when the road feels heavy, even when hope seems thin, there's a strength inside a song that awakens life within. It doesn't depend on sight or what the world believes. When a heart lifts up its voice, something greater receives. When everything feels heavy, let your heart release a sound. Because a song born in struggle turns a battle around. When darkness surrounds you and fear tries to stay, there's a power in praise that drives the chains away. When everything feels broken, don't let silence remain. Because when faith becomes music, miracles enter the pain. When everything feels hopeless and strength feels far away, a song born in a trial can change the entire day. Even in pain there is a voice, even in silence there's a song. Even when the mind doubts, the soul still stays strong. Because praise is not born from comfort, it rises from decision and trust to stand inside the shadows and still sing. Because you must. And when someone chooses to sing like that, heaven begins to respond. Because faith turned into praise makes the impossible fun. When everything feels heavy, there's still a song inside, hidden deep within your soul, waiting to be your guide. When everything seems lost and the night takes control, lift the faithful melody and watch hope take its role. When everything feels broken and no one understands, a song born from struggle can move unseen hands. Because when faith becomes praise, nothing can resist. And what once seemed impossible begins to exist,
They look and only see dust, but they don't know what lies below. They see silence and call it weakness without knowing how deep it goes. Because not everything shining starts in the spotlight glow. Some stories begin in the dirt before the brilliant show. Some people judge by appearance, some by what their eyes believe. But those who know the process understand what stones achieve. While many walk right past it, noticing what they found. There's a vision that's transformation waiting to turn rough into gold. Even when the world says stop, even when they doubt your rise, there's a voice inside your soul telling you to realize. Those who know their true value don't depend on what they hear. There's a greater purpose forming, something powerful drawing near. You are a hidden diamond, even if they cannot see. Between dust and quiet moments, there's a strength inside the beat. You are a hidden diamond, even before you shine. Because the one who knows your essence knows the perfect time. You are a hidden diamond, shaped through pressure and flame. Every struggle that you face only strengthen your name. You are a hidden diamond, even when it ain't not. Because those who see beneath the surface know how bright you'll shine. You know how bright you'll shine. You know how bright you'll shine. The road was never easy. Some days the pain spoke loud. Moments when silence felt heavy and the sky was covered in clouds. They judged without knowing your story, without seeing the nights you fought, without knowing every tear was shaping the strength you brought. Pressure creates the power, and time creates direction. Every difficult season was building your reflection. Those meant to shine at the right time. Never rush to prove their light, because the true value of a diamond will always reach the sight. Among all the voices doubting, there's a truth waiting to rise. Your story was never meant to stay buried in disguise. When the brilliance appears, many will wonder how that ignored in silence stone is shining brightly now. But those who know transformation understand the hidden now. Every strike of life and pressure was shaping your heart. Even when the world says stop, even when they doubt your rise, there's a voice inside your soul telling you to realize. Those who know their true value don't depend on what they hear. There's a greater purpose forming, something powerful drawing near. You are a hidden diamond, even if they cannot see. Between dust and quiet moments, I'm trusted inside the beat. You are a hidden diamond, even before you shine. Because the one who knows your essence knows the perfect time. You are a hidden diamond, shaped through pressure and flame. Every struggle that you face only strengthen your name. You will bear tight, not know when the time not, even when they deny. And when the moment arrives and light touches your story, many will finally realize there was always hidden glory. It wasn't luck or chance, it was a deeper plan unfolding. Every step of your journey was silently molding. Some precious stones remain hidden for years beneath the ground, until someone sees the brilliance and reveals what they found. You are a hidden diamond, nothing can erase your worth. Even when the world doubts you, there's a greater force. You are a hidden diamond, and time will always show. Every pressure that you face helped your brilliance grow. You are a hidden diamond, carrying strength and light. And when your story is revealed, it will inspire countless lives. Because the true value of a diamond is not that defined by the crowd, but by the one who shapes its essence. Strong, silent, and proud, 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 proud. Some people keep watching the clock, thinking their moment is past, that the answers they were waiting for will never come at last. But there's a hidden timeline no human mind can see, because when heaven decides to move, everything shifts suddenly. The world follows its systems, calculating every step, but there's a power far greater that can change everything, yeah. Because when the moment arrives, nothing can stand in the way. What once looked impossible will appear one day. How many times have you wondered why it hasn't happened yet? How many nights have you questioned if the promise was ever set? You followed every instruction, you did all you could do. Still it felt like the future was hidden from your view. The world says everything has a process, everything follows a line, but there's a force beyond logic that moves in perfect time. When the moment finally arrives and heaven begins to move, what once looked frozen in silence will suddenly improve. Doors that once stayed closed will open wide and clear. Paths that once seemed impossible will suddenly appear. What once seemed far away will suddenly be near, as if time itself changed and erased every fear. Maybe today feels too slow. But what is being prepared is closer than you know. Because when the moment arrives, nothing can stop the rise. What was promised long ago will open your eyes. Suddenly it will turn, your story will change. What once seemed impossible will no longer feel strange. Suddenly it will turn, nothing there, hold it back. When every time it arrives, everything stays on track. Suddenly it will turn, the night will disappear. What once felt distant will suddenly be near. Suddenly it will turn, you'll see it appear. Because when heaven moves, nothing interferes. There are stories hidden in time, waiting for the perfect day. People who kept believing, even when hope felt far away. While others gave up the fight, some chose to stay and believe. And it was through that persistence they began to receive. Because those who keep believing, even when everything says no, are preparing their own moment for a powerful glow. Maybe you can't see it now, maybe the day feels the same, but invisible movements are already forming the flame. Something greater is approaching, even if you can't see the sign. Because what is being prepared will appear right on time. And when that moment arrives, everything will rearrange. What once looked like delay will reveal a change. Maybe today feels silent, maybe it feels too slow. But what is being prepared is closer than you know. Because when the moment arrives, nothing can stop the rise. What was promised long ago will open your eyes. Suddenly it will turn, your story will change. What once seemed impossible will no longer feel strange. Suddenly it will turn, nothing can hold it back. When heaven's timing arrives, everything stays on track. Suddenly it will turn, the night will disappear. And what once felt distant will suddenly be near. Suddenly it will turn, you'll see it appear. Because when heaven moves, nothing interferes. There's no human clock that can explain the day. When the impossible decides, the sun he find his way. But the spirit of time prepares in silence and patience deep. We're resting the victory like a promise it must keep. And when that instant arrives, the world will finally see what once felt like delay was destiny. Suddenly it will turn, your story will rise. What once seemed hidden will open your eyes. Suddenly it will turn, nothing can be denied. What was prepared in silence was always meant to fly. Suddenly it will turn, nothing will restrain. When heaven's hand awakens, victory reigns. Suddenly it will turn, believe what you see. Because whenever decide, you walk in destiny. They said my story was over, that the road had reached its end, that the dreams I carried inside would never rise again. They pointed at my failures, they laughed when I fell down. They said my time was finished and I should leave the crown. But there's something they don't understand about a destiny built on faith. When a promise is truly spoken, time itself cannot erase. Even when the night feels endless, even when no one can see, there's a silent plan unfolding, preparing victory. I know the weight of being forgotten, the cold of standing alone, watching the world keep moving while you feel like a stone. Eyes filled with doubt around you was trying to bring you pain, as if your whole life story was written just to end in vain. But deep inside the silence, the fire kept burning bright. Even surrounded by shadows, there was still a light. Because true promises don't disappear in the wind, they stay hidden in time, waiting to begin again. While the world forgets your name, there's a vision that still sees every tear you've ever cried, every moment on your knees. Because the one who made the promise never loses the story's control. Even when everything seems lost, victory is still the goal. It may look like silence now, it may feel like nothing moves, but those who know the promise know the story still improves. When the moment finally comes, everything will shine. What once seemed forgotten will rise in time. I will sit at the king's table where few believed I'd arrive. The place that once felt distant will open and let me thrive. I will sit at the king's table and the story will unfold. The one forgotten on earth was remembered and called. I will sit at the king's table and the world will finally see what once looked like defeat was the start of victory. I will sit at the king's table and no one will deny that promises held in time always rise high. How many times I stop, when the pressure felt too strong, when voices kept repeating that my future would go wrong. But something deep inside me whispered this wasn't the end, that somewhere there was a door waiting to open again. Time may move slowly, days may feel the same, but when the moment arrives, everything changes its frame. What seemed forgotten suddenly turns to life once more, like a call you never expected, knocking at your door. And when the door finally opens and the invitation appears, you'll realize every tear prepared you through the years. Some stories speaking in silence but end in celebration. No, what once looked like abandonment becomes restoration. It may look like silence now, it may feel like nothing moves, but those who know the promise know the story still improves. When the moment finally comes, everything will shine. What once seemed forgotten will rise in time. I will sit at the king's table where few believed I'd arrive. The place that once felt distant will open and let me thrive. I will sit at the king's table and the story will unfold. The one forgotten on earth was remembered and called. I will sit at the king's table and the world will finally see what once looked like defeat was the start of victory. I will sit at the king's table and no one will deny that promises held in time always rise high. And on that day, when everyone can see what once seemed impossible will become reality, it won't be about pride or proving who I am. It will be about the promise that survived every plan, because the one who writes destinies never forgets his word. Even when time keeps moving, your name is still heard. I will sit at the king's table and my story will transform. What once seemed forgotten will rise beyond the storm. I will sit at the king's table and the world will understand. Promises held in silence were always part of the plan. I will sit at the king's table and nothing will stand in the way, 'cause what was spoken in faith will always find its day. I will sit at the king's table and finally realize every moment of waiting was the path to rise. In the silence of the night, I still hear a voice telling me to keep moving on. Even when everything feels broken, something inside me refuses to be gone. I tried walking on my own path, thinking I could carry the weight alone. But when the pressure became too heavy, that presence spoke deep in my soul. Now I understand, it was never luck or chance. It's something living inside me, something that gave me another stance. Even when the road grows darker, even when fear starts to speak, there's a power rising within me, reminding me I'm not weak. I remember days when everything fell apart, heavy world pressing hard on my heart. A tired soul searching for a reason just to survive another season. But in the middle of chaos I felt a breeze, like a whisper moving through the trees. When every spark was fading away, that silent voice was asking me to stay. When I thought I was alone on the ground, something deep inside made a sound, saying get up, this isn't the end. There's still a road you're meant to defend. Even when I failed again and again, when guilt and doubt was stronger than pain, trying to steal the light inside me, that inner strength kept reminding me, no matter how many times I fall, there's always a voice that calls, telling me I'm not alone in the fight, even in the darkest night. If I get lost in the darkest night, if my mind tries to walk away, there's a light inside my chest that will never fade away. Even when the world tries to erase everything I'm meant to be, that voice inside my soul always speaks identity. Stay here inside of me, don't let this emptiness grow and silence invades my chest. You're the reason I still glow when the night tries pulling me down, if the fear tries making me fall. This fire inside my soul always answers the call. Stay here inside of me, even when I cannot see, because when I lose this peace, something breaks inside of me. So stay here inside my soul, don't let my spirit fall apart. When his voice is close to me, it rebuilds my heart. Those were days when my mind was a storm, thoughts spinning without any form, trying to convince me it was the end, that my road would never mend. But deep in my soul, a whisper replied, a quiet strength that never died, saying wait, story's not through. What was better will rise in you. I know I'm not perfect and never will be, but every fall teaches something to me. Even in moments I didn't deserve grace, that presence still stayed in place when the world said I wouldn't win. When stronger than pain. Having a hand along the road, lifting the weight of every load. If I get lost in the darkest night, if my mind tries to walk away, there's a light inside my chest that will never fade away. Even when the world tries to erase everything I'm meant to be, that voice inside my soul always speaks identity. Stay here inside of me. Don't let this emptiness grow in silence invades my chest. You're the reason I still glow. If the night tries pulling me down, if the fear tries making me fall, this fire inside my soul always answers the call. Stay here inside of me, even when I cannot see. Because when I lose this piece, something breaks inside of me. So stay here inside my soul, don't let my spirit fall apart. When this voice is close to me, it rebuilds my heart. When my soul was tired of fighting, that strength taught me how to breathe. When my heart wanted to close, that light refused to leave. When my words could not appear, when the road seemed unclear, that presence helped me understand there was still a reason to stand, even in the deepest silence. When everything seemed to collapse, I felt the calm slowly rise, telling me I would come back. Stay here inside of me, even when the fear grows strong, because the voice that lives in me is the reason I move on. If the night tries pulling me down, if the weight tries holding me still, this fire burning in my chest always rises with will. Stay here inside of me.